What is good, Z Nation? Coming to you with a daily Xander podcast with my one and only true friend that looks like an actual sister to me, Miss Fischer, who, when I first met her, I thought she was Irish because how she talked with the accent, but she is from the great state of Bavaria in Germany.
Germany it is, actually.
Germany it is, and that's where we're now. We're in Berlin. If you didn't know, it says in the title, I'm in Berlin right now. We're in Berlin. We're in Berlin.
We're in Berlin. I gotta admit, I'm originally from Munich, but I got a little Berlinized, if I can say that. And I'm really happy to share like the vibes here with my dear friend Alex, which we did for the past 1.5 days.
1.5 days. And like I even mentioned to you, like, you know what? Berlin highly sticks out to me as being an extremely unique city as far as the energy, the people that are there, what's going on, just the culture that brings living in Berlin. It's a lot different than like any other city I've ever been in, and I've only been in it for less than like 2 days, and like it just
maybe you can like apparent. Just tell the people what you've experienced of Berlin so far.
Lots of walking. So lots of walking in public transportation. So this is how I'm able to take in the city. But just going from like the north part of Germany to the south part, Munich and Berlin, there's a big difference in the crowd of people you see. So like there's a lot more younger people in Berlin. Also just walking around the streets, it's not as like a clean city. And the buildings, like architecture-wise, it's very, very dull, like gray. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. It's just like an observation standpoint. And I think that's what makes it special too, in a lot of ways. Like just from what I've seen in Berlin, the element of like it kind of comes across as like, if you don't have like an open mind, like you could be like, this place is so dirty. Why did anybody live here? But that's Berlin. Like everywhere you go, there's graffiti everywhere in all buildings.
Indeed.
And I made the comment like, do they do graffiti on the cars by any chance?
They actually do, like on public transport. They do everywhere. So Berlin is actually just a canvas. It's a raw canvas where people feel invited to like share a little bit of their own personal touch, right? And that adds to the whole city, as we say actually. Berlin is like a place that is like, I describe it like concrete, tipping.
What's tipping? Oh, like tipping like...
Tipping with a bottle straw.
Oh,
yeah. So... People doesn't matter what you leave behind. So we gotta introduce you guys to drink like
we're getting
MATE, like mate, which is like
mate comes from South America originally. Highly like mate is a type of tea. It's highly drinked around all of South America.
Mate is a type of tea infused with caffeine, like lots of caffeine. Once you have a bottle, you know what we're talking about. It feels like there's like some little wings growing.
Yeah, it's like a natural energy drink.
Head off. Right on. But Berlin...
Very tasty energy drink.
Very tasty.
Very
tasty. Yeah,
tea.
But Berlin, let's get to the point at some stage.
So you're saying Berlin. Concrete, tipping. There's some more things
I'd say arts and music. Guys, honestly, I'd invite every one of you guys to come to this city because this city is, in fact, like just a platform that is super alive, that is super moving all the time. So what's special about Berlin is like it's a city that is always in progress. There's always construction going on. There's always moving going on. It's really international. So half of the time I don't even speak my language, right? I speak German. In fact, you didn't know, I'm not Irish. I'm actually German.
So running joke, I've known you for almost 3 years.
Yeah, okay. First, maybe we have
we're
to
getting off topic. It's cool though. Like this.
So this is how we actually function, right? We get off the main path of our conversations, but we got to know in Australia. We got to know in a really fucked up hostel in Perth City. And we actually... No swearing, right?
Oh, no, you be genuine. It's cool. No, I was just going to say shout out to...
Hostel in Australia with our dear friend Will. Cheers.
Should probably tag you in this video, Will. I should probably tag you.
We should actually. And Perth, yeah. So we got to know in Perth in a little hostel. And it was actually like kind of a friendly love at first sight. So it was really authentic. It was really genuine. And from Perth, we made our way to like... a lot of coffee stores, a lot of hot stone massage, a lot of
Inside joke from me and Will.
Inside joke. Kebab place, a lot of fun. Up the coast a little bit, like until like I set the guys free to do a little road trip up the coast. Next year, a year later, was Iceland, where we did like a little festival together. We had
Ireland and Iceland.
Ireland, not to forget Dublin,
3 days in Dublin together, I think.
So it's the third time we actually see each other. Yeah, 6 days in Iceland. Third time in our lives we catch up. So got all good things of three, and
yeah, it's a trilogy. I think we went, like we talk about, like it's been like a year and 4 months. We had it down to exact months, like a year and 4 months since we last saw it, and it's just been fascinating to catch up with you and just like pick your brain and just talk, have conversations, and literally since we've been together for about the past day and a half, we've gone like nonstop. What we talk about just when we go around the city is like go from one conversation to the next. We talk about these ideas. We get deep with ourselves, and we're like, oh yeah. Next thing you know, we're going all over the place and exploring each other's minds. So it's really grateful for the time we've had together.
Likewise, dear. And what else to say, guys? I mean, maybe we go back to Berlin path a little bit. So there's a lot of nightclubs. Like there's a lot of a scene. Like it's Berlin is a really huge and widespread place. But there's actually an underground scene going on.
I did not know how open and liberal like the Berlin is. It's probably one of the liberalest cities I've ever been in my life. It's more liberal than Amsterdam.
It's a big thing to say, like after 1.5 days. Like,
whoa, it's
from
very
what you've
open.
explored so far.
Yeah.
There was a lot of Alexanderplatz, like on our ways and our crossing. It always caught us again. Maybe.
So Berlin's like structured. The main station,
yeah,
the main. Transportation station is called Alexanderplatz, which stands for, translating to German, it'd be like Alexander Station or Alexander Place. Alexander Place, right?
It's a little coincidence. I mean,
more reason to name your next son Alexander.
So,
it's a little plug for my name. Take that.
It's a little dedication, I guess. He had to come here. He had to make this decision.
Makes sense. I should have taken a picture. I never took a picture of me like with Alexanderplatz, but that's cool.
We're gonna do that tomorrow, I guess. So we still have a little bit of time.
Will we have time?
Oh, later on. So we're about to just go out with some friends, and then our plan is to go back to Alexanderplatz, like the 5th time already in 1.5 days, and actually discover Brandenburg Gate by night. So.
And what is you showed me pictures of Brandenburger
Tor.
Brandenburger Tor.
It's called, yeah.
It's there used to be 4 of them. It's kind of a structure of some sort that has like Roman Colosseums.
Well remembered.
There's 4 of them. 3 of them got destroyed from bombs.
Yeah.
And there's 1 remaining, and it's a symbol of freedom.
It's a symbol of freedom, right?
Good teacher.
I mean, you guys all know that Berlin got divided in like 2 parts because of history, right?
We got up to date on this today.
We did a bit of a research about that, but we've seen East Side Gallery today, so the little bit of the wall that is left after like the city got divided in like 4 different parts, and what else to say, guys? There's no big difference that you can see still. Like we're on the east side at the moment, but.
So with the Berlin Wall, the east side was part of the DDR, which was like the communist, like Russia side.
Exactly.
Western side of the wall was split up between England, the U.S., and France, and that specific part was completely in a wall surrounded by territory belonging to Russia. And we walked the entire length of what's still left of the Berlin Wall in the central area of Berlin, and it's very artsy now, like
AKA the public gallery.
Oh, the public gallery.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a nice, AKA.
And we had some nice thoughts. We did some improvising on the artsy pieces. Did a little addition to
interpretation.
Like the Insta stories, right? Did a little photo shoot. Alex was posing
Couldn't help
really
myself.
well. Yeah, it was.
Content for the parents. I just want to say content for the parents. Nobody else. Just not full of myself. No, not whatever.
And yeah, there we are in my room on the east side of Berlin, just getting ready for catching up with a friend of us that we met in Iceland. Hey Karen. And we actually thought of going out and checking the underground scene out a little more. So the clubs actually open on Thursday, so Berlin weekend starts on Thursday, ends on Monday, guys. So you can just access a club just whenever you feel like it, and they provide showers, they provide like buffets, they provide everything, so you're well sorted. It feels like home, you know. You don't even have to go back to your place, so there's actually no need to like just rent a place, right? If you just can live in those clubs, right?
Yeah. Totally different
and there's
world.
like Alex was really surprised by several people he's seen here, right? I mean, because he was saying like Berlin people,
like
really
the people I've seen, I don't know where
else
they really honestly exist where they could function the way they're dressed. To put it simply, there's probably places in the US, but like I don't know what much of quality of life they would have based on how they presented themselves. But it's neat to see. Like it's just a totally change of scenery. And I'm happy, like, hey, look, they can be themselves in this.
We're talking about piercings. We're talking about colored
but
hair.
like, it's far out.
Like,
but like, it's far out to where like that's
genuine style.
That's how they walk around like anywhere throughout the city. I'm sure. Nothing wrong with it whatsoever. I like just seeing it because it's just something different. And like, hey, they're just living their life this particular way. Nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely. And in addition, what did we actually do? In addition to like seeing Berlin Wall, we had a coffee. Alex was surprised.
What's the name of the coffee place?
The Roastery.
It was in the barn.
The barn, aka the
Roastery.
Yeah.
Fun fact: you're a fan of the AKAs dishing them out.
I'm a fan.
AKA is the abbreviation of Alaska, but it's the barn. The barn, aka the Roastery, has coffee from all different parts of like the coffee belt. So you have like Guatemala, parts of Africa.
Exactly.
So
that's mainly what's happening there. So we had an espresso, really different to like European coffee, from what I can say. And we pretended to be like sommeliers, you know?
Sommeliers for coffee,
just waited a couple of seconds on how the flavor turned out. And it was a little surprise for Alex because he's never had something like that before. And me neither, to be honest. It's like
totally different coffee,
more liquidy. As well, it was a lot about liquids. Like once we caught up, like we had more liquid than actually food.
Yeah, for today. Just about. Yeah, it's probably on par. We made some really good breakfast today. We had like 4 different liquid drinks. This is how you want to get your great day start out great. Besides just like waking up and like shifting your thoughts, like, all right, I'm gonna be happy today, not unhappy, or I'm gonna be empowered with my thoughts rather than disempowered. Start out good with like a good nutritious meal. So we have today, besides like eggs and a mixture of vegetables, we might have had a fresh smoothie. What was in the smoothie? So we had blueberries,
like some yogurt, banana, cinnamon.
Cinnamon, that was a good touch. Lime, that's what. Lime was a good one. So that was a good smoothie.
But then we couldn't resist trying the innocent smoothie as well. Right?
Oh yeah, it was a chai smoothie.
It was chai, like a little bit less chai.
Not much chai flavor.
Chai,
but they add additional ingredients, mainly fruits. Nice touch there. So we had like 2 smoothies. We had an apple mint tea, and top it off we had a coffee.
European coffee.
Just to say.
And what else? Magnesium water.
Magnesium water too. We got all these vitamins in one meal. Plus we had cheese. Cheese from Amsterdam.
Cheese from Amsterdam, right? As we both fancy Amsterdam, and we've both been there a few days ago. We just thought of like chipping in like a really international breakfast.
Yeah, I think
in dedication to international Berlin, I'd say.
Yeah, and it speaks volumes to like the part of the area of the world you live in, being Europe. You're not. I don't think this is still more like Western Europe. Germany is than Central Europe.
Oh yeah.
But even still, like it's just you're still next to all these different areas of the world or different areas of Europe, and there's different food cultures that go into it. And, like it was just a blend of everything, a good different things that we had today. And like I think that just speaks volumes. Like for instance, like what Berlin is international, has over 3 million people. That is what I tell you yesterday. It was like it's like almost 5 times the size of the population of Alaska. Mind-numbing. 5 times the population of Alaska lives in this small dot in Germany, being Berlin.
Small dot. It's not. It's a really wide area, guys.
Very
right?
wide.
I mean, Berlin is
a section of it.
A city-state.
It's a city-state. Yep. So it's a capital. So not only a city, but it represents an actual state, and there are 15 states in Germany, if I believe right. I am learning tremendous. It's cool.
See, Alex got this curiosity about life, right? After he hopped off the cruising boat, like he had like constant troubles, and I asked him,
troubles.
How do you actually reflect on all the impressions? And that's when Alex just inspired me one more time. Like, Alex is all about thoughts. Alex is all about progressing. Alex is all about like just mental health and stuff. And I feel like he can be a really good role model for other people. So this is what I'm learning. What I'm learning of, right?
I'm glad. Thank you. I look to give value any way, any form, and if that's the value I'm giving you, I'm glad to continue on with that value. So I will continually just be me.
And this is how we click as well, right? I mean, we've mainly discussed about topics on how to like progress our our own ideas, just to share it, what areas are important, right? Just to figure out your thoughts, what distracts you. It's been all about like thinking.
Yeah, thinking. Just becoming commonly aware of like what's affecting your day-to-day decisions, your minute-by-minute decisions. Like, for example, right before we did this podcast, what went through just you experiencing putting a picture in a frame and how difficult that.
Guys, I mean, I've been struggling quite a little bit, but that was a good learning experience, right? I mean,
something so simple, like it could be a good learning experience. It's very simple. Like,
maybe we can like give you a little impression about that, like about the portrait.
Yeah, show your portrait.
So what I want to tell you guys. Oh, it's 16 minutes already.
Yeah, it goes fast. It doesn't stay.
So I believe the personal presence, I really have much more value than if you would buy something somewhere. So for me, it's like a little dedication of your own personality and like a gift. Therefore, I painted a little portrait for my friend. But as probably some artsy people of you out there recognize, this like part of it doesn't really harmonize with this picture, which my flatmate kindly advised me. So I was trying to like get the outside like white again, but I was struggling a little bit. We had some ideas with some progress, but still we probably had a little bit too much of. And yeah, it was my own fault. I think it was my suggestion. Berliner Luft, which is like a spirit.
Let's introduce this. So this is a common schnapps, peppermint schnapps throughout Germany. So there's two different versions. Am I right? Two different versions. One's the clear one. That's what I have here, clear. The other one would be a green one. So it means it just has like green food coloring.
Peppermint, yeah.
They're both peppermint tasting.
Yeah.
From what I understand, the clear one's much. It's just more enjoyable because again, it doesn't have that additive. So less likely to probably get like some type of a hangover. As well, I don't know if there's a difference in taste. It tastes the same to me. I've had both. When I was in Munich, I had the green one, and then here just.
I kindly advise Alex, like he's not drinking the proper stuff, right?
Yeah.
But what guides us back to this picture is
back to the picture
that Alex kindly advised me to take a step back, just to really relax, have a little moment for myself, and don't force myself to finish the picture right away. Maybe there's like, it improves even the picture's quality just to wait until my friend sees the picture, and then we can maybe like work on the frame together after I presented her my struggles and my story, which gives it a little personal note, like in an addition, you know what I mean? Yeah, so I'm wondering on how she will like it.
You can add some more like sentimental value too, in the sense like you give it to her and then you explain a little bit about the process that went into just getting
drawing this for like 12 hours was probably a little more
easier than the entire hour and a half you dedicated to putting in the frame.
But that was a big learning process for me tonight, so I want to thank you for that.
Of course, yeah, just being able to understand like, okay, why are we feeling a certain way? And a lot of times it's so easy to just get in the moment of your feelings and emotions and not even give consideration of like, why am I feeling this way? You just go with your emotions, and then your emotions dictate like your actions. You're letting your emotions just take over like any thought of like, oh, there's an outside world. It's just everything that matters in the world is going on right now, and this becomes priority number one. If I don't fulfill priority number one, then I lose control. And it just carries over to other things, and it could carry over to like whether we do this podcast afterwards, or it carries over to like we go out and we see Karen and her friend, and then it carries on to like your flight tomorrow, and then you're just kind of in an agitated mood, and just keeps carrying on. And then you see your friends, and you kind of agitate like, I did not fulfill how I envisioned this, and here you go. I hope you understand. Like, but I'm just not satisfied. And like, I cannot have a good time with you. I'm sorry. It's over with.
So the point is,
you're not going down that route. You diffuse that. You might have used an additional action to diffuse it, but at the same time, you've diffused it. I want to say.
So there was a little bit of a learning process needed. Like, there was no option. We could have finished the picture tonight. So life just got me another lesson. So the lesson is to be a little more patient, to be honest with my friend, and then to wait what we're gonna explore. Maybe the picture's gonna look completely different tomorrow. Maybe she puts a personal note in this, right? And then I feel like, well, all the struggling today, which was not too bad, to be honest, but
grand scheme
it
of things,
happened. Yeah. It was just useless, you know, just wasted energy. So keep it up there.
Keep it up there. All right, let's transition to this then. Like, I like that you had a learning experience from it. What are you currently right now grateful for, Anna?
I'm grateful for meeting my dear friend the third time again.
Brothers, sister,
and
back
sisters.
at it.
That's
By the way,
story.
we kind of fooled people because a lot of people around here are gullible into saying we're definitely brother and sister.
Guys, if we just get a little closer here, do you think we have like some similarities? It's probably the Aryan way of looking, like blonde blue eyes, but there's nothing else in fact. But honestly, like if you just tell people right away, face to face, that we're brother and sister, they wouldn't doubt that, right?
No, sometimes we get to ask the question back, like, oh, so where are you guys from? And we kind of look at each other and I'm just like, oh, Alaska. And you don't say anything. But
we're not quite sure about that. We're not quite certain about that. So we're actually just making up a story, like a proper story.
It's fun. Like we're just being creative and imaginative, and we actually went down the route of coming up with fictional mother and father, and like coming up with a story behind it. That was actually a really fun process to just like. It's like jam, like it's a jam creation session. Like we're making up a story as we walk the city of Berlin, which you don't do that often. Last night, remember we did a lot of walking. You're like, you know what? I usually don't do this, and like you enjoyed it.
During the day, yeah.
Yes, okay.
During the night, it was something new. You know, I wanted to show Alex a little nightclub. I've done a lot of research about where we want to go, and then once we stood in front of the nightclub, he was like, "I rather feel like walking." I was like, "Well, that's something new for me. That's quite surprising. You suggest that." So we had another 2 mates like on the way, and we kept walking for another 3 hours, in fact, which was like a good refreshment for the mind, I'd say, because sometimes you don't need to like stuck in a crowded, loud place where you lose connection somehow. But we enjoyed our conversation so much that it didn't really matter where we went. It was just a matter of what we had to say to each other. And then we realized like walking guides you into a different mindset. So
again, the act of it helps with like your flow of thoughts. When you're moving your body physically, it helps with like your mental process. So it's like the element of like if you ever find yourself getting angry, a lot of times when you get angry, like what's one of the physical traits you do when you get angry? You like clench up your fists. And that just feeds the rest of your feelings. So like one way you can diffuse, like if you do recognize like, oh, I'm getting angry right now, okay, what's ways I can diffuse that? Just open up your hands, and you can either like hunch over in a seat, or you can lay down. When you lay down, like it's pretty hard to still feel angry in that position. Like you might still feel sad, but it kind of it's a way to transition from going the element of like, oh, I'm really angry, to just okay, I'm a little more mellow, I'm chilled. Okay, let's have more rational thoughts. What's going on in my head? Do I really want to like this? Is this really gonna mean anything in the grand scheme of things of being just like holding this grudge or this anger or whatever it is that's causing you to feel angry?
True story.
It doesn't have to be.
As well, I shared my little secret recipe about happiness, you know. I do this routine every day. Once I get out of bed, I go to the bathroom and I have a little note over the sink.
It's powerful to do something like what you explained.
It just says yes, you know. And just scream like yes every day. You scream yes like for 10 times, and then your cells soak up the energy. It's like a little sponge, and then your body gives something back just to your mind, and then it just interacts a little bit. And that's my secret recipe about like just to feel happiness immediately. I'd recommend trying. I'd recommend just saying yes a couple of times. Yes to life, yes to human beings, and yes to existence, right? Because
I would. Let's see.
Big opportunity.
go take a step further. Even before we go out tonight, we should do a little like yes session.
We should.
Whether we do it here or we do it outside. If we do it outside, even better. We might inspire or just come across as weirdos. But at the same time, it sets the mood for us that we bring into going to see the people we're going to see.
Exactly. Never care about what other people think of that once you're right.
Yeah.
It's only you. At the end of the day, it's only yourself, right? So.
Yeah, there's an element like in order to give value to others, you got to first take care of yourself. And it's easy to just look over yourself and just react to other people, and that's what your life becomes, is just reacting constantly, and that's where you lose yourself.
You lose yourself.
So on that note, we're gonna do a yes session after this. Promise? I'm gonna put it into action. I'm gonna sign off on it firsthand. I'm gonna make a declaration. We're gonna do a yes session right before we leave.
Can't wait.
Okay, I'm looking forward to it.
So,
Michelle Samuels. All's well here. Who is this? J-Boy Sunday, BF, best friend, boyfriend. I don't know who that is.
Alex is just a really successful person on like social platforms, right? I mean, I enjoy watching his podcasts.
Do you actually watch him?
He hasn't
just
actually.
Curious, do you actually watch it?
Yeah, some of them, right? I mean, he's done podcasts with us, but like
they're a bit long.
He's done podcasts with us like last year already, so it's his like.
Ooh, I've been doing it for a while now.
Yeah, no.
So I used to do this thing. And I didn't pop up the video of us, but I used to do this thing where as long as somebody was comfortable with me doing it, I'd film them answering the question. I wouldn't even tell them the question prior of what do you want to do before you die, and just hearing like somebody's response. A lot of times they're like, "Whoa, okay, let me think about this. I wasn't ready for it. Okay," and it's just fascinating to hear somebody's response because it gives you a sense of like where they are currently in their mind frame. If you ask somebody that's 25 what they want to do before they die, it's completely different than if you were 30, 35, 40, different variation stages of life.
So last time Alex asked me at the age of 23 actually it was, and now I'm 25. Oh, so I shouldn't have told anyone. I'm 25 already, but 25 feels
pop the
great.
Video of what you said, because I do not recall.
I don't remember what I said back then. It was something artsy, I guess, but this time, guys, my vision is to get a double-decker bus. Doesn't matter how I get it, but I will get it at some stage. Get a double-decker bus, transform it into like a social platform, a platform to like just discover arts, music, just discover catching up, like just connecting. And then at some stage, after I finished my music therapy studies, I want to just renovate the bus, like make it a little homey space, and then just drive around Europe or other places in the world and set up maybe like festivals. Just enabling people like together, you know what I mean? And it includes a lot of like different opportunities, like traveling, setting up a cultural space, getting to know people. It's got so much, and right, it's like everyone's got this vision out there. You know what I'm talking about. Once you think of it, you almost have a mindgasm already, because it's so intense, and you should listen to your gut feeling and visualize it every single day, and concentrate your energy, concentrate your time working on it. And I'm really curious about like next year, the time we meet up next time, just where we are in life. So that was my.
We'll be higher up the mountain. We'll be higher up the mountain where we are in life.
Yeah.
I can't guarantee I will have a fresh face. Who knows? Might have a beard again. You might have a hat on, sailor hat perhaps. But definitely always remind yourself of that vision, so you don't ever go off course with it. Because like with any, like we're all susceptible to like outline our visions, but then just throughout life, like day to day, like things happen that take us off course, and we forget about it a lot of times. And really making it your priority number one. And if it's your priority number one, then you don't let like other things pop up that dictate you not directing your time towards it.
True. Alex, maybe you wanna answer as well. What do you want to do before you die, in case like you haven't?
Maybe I know in case something happens by tomorrow. Oh, I need to let people know.
What is actually happening tomorrow?
I don't know. I was just kidding.
You're not specifically answering my question.
I know. I'll ask you. I'll answer it. Yeah, of course. So I have several things, and I think I might actually. Do I carry it right here? Oh, it's my passport. I remember I have it there. So my notebook. I don't have it here. I wonder what I do with it. Interesting. usually my notebook, I don't know, I have it right here. So my notebook, I carry this piece of paper. I've showed a fairly amount of people, but it's like my bucket list. So like things I want to do before I die. Granted, I did this piece of paper about 1.5 years ago. So I would say it's time to change it. And I definitely need to change some aspects on it. But one of like the biggest things I want to do, that's like the main thing, pertains to like achieving riches. So finances. So ideally, I just set a goal, audacious goal. Like I want to have $100 million. Doesn't mean I have to have $100 million at one time. Could be at different payments, at different earning states. But with that $100 million, I want to be able to invest in others, primarily people I've worked with on a one-on-one basis, being individuals with certain type of paralysis, like spinal cord injuries, traumatic brain injuries, so different type of neurological issues. And just to keep it plain and simple, I want to be the individual that finances their recovery process. So it takes the element of the emotional burden of not having finances to cover your exercise and recovery, so that they become more empowered and just being able to be a more productive member of society. Because if somebody's in a wheelchair, there's still a lot they can do, not physically, but like mentally, that they can offer to the world.
Which you've experienced already.
Yeah, and one of the biggest things is just like the aspect of knowing that in the U.S., and I imagine a lot of other places throughout the world, if you're in a wheelchair, for example, if you're a spinal cord injury, insurance does not do much for your financing for the exercise and recovery process, if really none whatsoever. And so it's just a very hardship, not only in the individual in the wheelchair, but for the family members themselves. So that's something like I really feel strongly about, like an impact I want to do in the world, is being able to impact, doesn't have to be a lot of people's lives, but like certain individuals' lives, and knowing like I can, hey, you know what, I can finance the rest of their life, exercise and recovery, so they don't even have to give consideration to it, so that they can go about life and how they want to go about it with full veracity and just desire, and like, this is what I want to do. And you can find people in that state of like having a spinal cord injury. I'm not saying everybody's like this, but you can certainly find people that are even happier than like a person's able body. And like I told you before, like I consider those individuals like a spiritual, emotional guru. Like, how can somebody that doesn't have any full ability of their arms and legs be this so happy and like be so optimistic and constantly have energy and like just looking to always be doing things that are adding value to others, and yet they're in a wheelchair and like their life is dependent on others to either feed them, to bathe them, to clean them, to go to the bathroom. Like, wow, that just like puts things in perspective. And like that's literally one of the worst things you can ever experience as a human being, is not like losing your job, not having a place to stay, not having loved ones in your life, but literally your life comes to a point where you become so dependent on others to just live.
Absolutely.
So it keeps everything in perspective. So that's one of the aspects I want to do. How am I going to do it? Does not matter. I have the desire, I have the faith it'll happen, and I'm continually growing on every single day basis. I meet people, I believe in myself, and I know it'll eventually happen. I've gone through the process of reading, and I remember you read this book. You said you read this book, Think and Grow Rich.
Exactly, I did.
It literally outlines like different aspects of, especially really believing in like what's your what, like, so what's, or like what's your why of what you want to do. So I mean, you too, you outline the kind of like a why of what you want to do. How you get there, that'll happen. Like, you just need to continually feed your subconscious mind. Absolutely. With the positive messages. That's key for anything you do in life. Positive messages. Like, it's so easy to lose the momentum of what you want to do because of the like what you're eating, like what your brain, what your eyes, what your ears are taking in for positive, empowering messages. Like, in one element, like us continuing talking about Mate, is that really a powerful message to put in? Not really, but it adds to knowledge, and I think it's a kind of unique thing to talk about worldwide perspective, because now I'm going to be on the lookout in the U.S. I'm pretty sure, probably parts of the U.S., we have Club Mate. I'm not sure. If you know, whoever does watch this, if you know if Club Mate exists in the U.S., please leave a comment and let me know where it is, because I would love to know for myself, that I can then explain to Anna whenever she goes to the U.S., like, you need to go here. You definitely need to go to Nashville, Tennessee, because they have Mate galore. It's amazing. They don't just have the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They have endless abundance amount of Mate.
Because they don't have it at every place, even here in Europe. You know?
Oh, really? Okay.
Well, it is like the only place, pretty much.
It definitely grows on you.
Matter.
It definitely grows on you. It's a nice, pleasant taste. When I was in Montevideo, Uruguay, I was telling Anna this. I didn't know much about South America, so like when I was in Uruguay just walking around, I saw all these people with these canisters, these thermal canisters, and they had like these metal straws, like a metal spoon straw sticking out of a kind kind of like a coffee mug. Turns out like everybody in South America, well, certain countries drink mate tea, no matter what your age is. Like it's a thing to do after work.
Gathering, yeah.
You see everybody carrying one around, and honestly, it just looked like crushed up weed or marijuana to me. So I didn't know exactly what was going on, but it turns out it was just tea, and the tea is very caffeinated, and it gives you definitely a buzz. I don't know if because you said they add caffeine. I think the mate leaf already has caffeine in it.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, yeah.
And that's what that is made of.
That's what this is made of, yeah.
Yeah, that's why it's called like that.
Yeah.
Right, guys, I feel like we've extended quite a little bit. Like normally, Alex told me that he does like 10 minutes podcast.
No, we're gonna do an Instagram thing.
This is like
it's just too heavy for you.
Right.
That's cool.
Probably like a 20 minutes now, but
no, I think we almost at 30. Look at that, 40 minutes strong. What time are we gonna be there? It's almost a quarter.
See, time flies by once you're having fun.
Definitely having fun.
But I really enjoyed my time with you, Alex, and I'm still enjoying to the fullest. I'm looking forward to meeting Karen, her friends, and seeing what's going to happen. Probably a lot of walking again, probably some more mate and Berlin Luft. But
that's how you keep the waist intact. Lots of walking. Highly recommend. If you travel a lot, just walk. If you don't have just routine-wise, just as long as you get movement in, just keep it simple. Walking. It's a great way to stay in shape.
That's all you need, exactly.
Movement key.
So we're going to explore our brother and sisterhood a little bit more. Have some more deep thoughts.
Of course.
Just jump in the nightlife as far as we can because we're leaving tomorrow to different cities. Like he's going to Athens, I'm going to Munich. And I'm looking
City of
forward.
Monks,
City
Munich
of
is.
Yeah.
Enjoy Munich.
If you say so.
I left it sunny and I hope it's sunny when you show up.
It depends. Like you can be sun as well. Like you can be a little sunshine. You can.
Myself. Well, I'm the. As my dad would say, you're the one and only son, and I am. I'm the only son of Al and Janet. So yeah, I am the son.
So right on, guys. I wish you pleasure, and looking forward to chatting with you. Or let's say, talking to you next time once we catch
we'll continue to talk after
Hopefully
this.
that's spontaneous again. Huh?
Yeah, thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate your time and just sharing yourself and going with it.
And
just embracing it.
Thanks for offering this opportunity.
Are you kidding me? I love it. I love just being genuine. We don't even recognize there's a camera here. That's how you know you're in the moment. You're not thinking about anything else. Did you even know we're in an apartment right now? I'm just thinking of my thoughts.
I lost the feeling of where we are.
Lost the feeling.
Yeah, the whole day we've been chatting. There was hardly 5 minutes where we haven't had
the entire day.
Intrigued conversations.
Didn't see you yawn that much. I saw you yawn a couple times. Okay. Z Nation, pleasure as always. Thank you so much, Anna.
Likewise.
Bear, for sharing yourself. Much love. Oh, thumbs up too. Okay. We're signing off with the peace, the love, the unity, the respect, and as always, passion. Catch you next time. Oh yeah, much love.